All right, let's get started here. Good morning. How are you guys? Welcome, Christina, Tabra, Brian. You guys have a nice weekend. I know it's Tuesday, but did you have a nice weekend? You're okay? It's still raining here in Pittsburgh. Good. Awesome. I just want to say I saw a lot of strong projects from a lot of you guys. So great job. It's really it's kind of cool to see your process steps. Did you notice the kind of doing the 9 sketches? Did that help you before, researching, doing the 9 sketches? Did that help you refine your, do you feel like it actually helps your design concepts go forward? Think of different ideas, more meaningful ideas. Good. Good. All right. Well, good. Anybody have any questions about my feedback thus far or anything that we went over? I feel like it's Monday, but it's actually Tuesday. I had a wisdom tooth pulled yesterday, so I think I'm all out of it. Yeah, that's not fun. You don't think you follow the process like you should have. Well, you know what? It's okay, because sometimes you just have to go with the flow and see what works for you. Like I said, everybody does their process differently. But the key thing is to start with your gathering information, your research, brainstorming, and then your sketches. You made good looking logos. Okay, so if you did submit your work, hopefully you got the feedback from me and you are plugging away at revising. We are going to be taking this to the next level for week 2 and finalizing it in week 2, because we're going to start a completely new project week 3. So just kind of give you a heads up. This can be a very nice portfolio piece, so just kind of keep that in mind to make sure you're pushing yourself and really kind of listening to the feedback I'm giving you. It's constructive criticism, so don't take it personally. I know you guys work really hard, and it's hard to, not take it personally, but that's something that we need to do as designers, because you are ultimately designing this for your client and not yourself. And that's kind of how you push and you grow as a designer too. Well, welcome to week 2, live lecture 1. We are going to be meeting on Thursday as well as today. So whatever we don't get to today, we'll definitely get to on Thursday. You guys have a quiz for your assessment, so just kind of give you a heads up there. All right, so let's go ahead and move forward here. I'm going to try to get through this with my mouth. Actually, my mouth is actually fine. I had a wisdom tooth pulled, just one of them, yesterday. I'm doing good. It actually was hurting me more than anything. I had a really bad cavity in it. So I had it for about 2 months and it was hurting me. So it's weird not to have a tooth in my mouth that's not aching. So it's kind of strange, but I'm still getting used to the gap in my mouth. So for those of you who have had wisdom teeth taken out, you kind of know what I'm experiencing. Luckily, I only had 1 taken out, so all 3 are still in there waiting, so we'll see. All right. Just make sure that you're getting your work. I have a few of you, and I have 2 sections of this class. So I have a handful of you guys that have not submitted your discussion or your week 2 work. So make sure, or week 1 work, sorry. So make sure you're getting that in for possible full credit with a late penalty. If you had contacted me before with issues that you've had, I'm real flexible with you guys. If you contact me ahead of time, I can kind of waive the penalty if things are, going crazy in your world. I understand. Believe me, I've gone through stuff like this before, and I understand. As long as you're open and reaching out to me as soon as possible, the more flexible I can be with you. But if you have not, filled in, submitted your work, get that in as soon as possible so you can get started in your week 2 work, which is all in kind of building upon itself. So it's not like we're starting a new project this week. It's building off of what you did in week 1. So That's why it's a little bit more imperative that you get stuff in as soon as possible. So you have that time to go through your process steps, take the feedback I'm giving you and applying it. Your discussion one, if you have not submitted that either, you know, it's kind of, I always like to tell my students and you guys, obviously, get that as soon as possible in during the week that it's due so you guys can gain the most that you can out of the discussion, because nobody's going to be clicking back and reading your post if you post a week late. So, you know, make sure you're gaining the most that you can. So get that in. The initial post will be tomorrow, will be due. Yeah, did anybody take advantage of the forum? Yeah, it didn't happen. Nobody posted to it. Did you guys see it? It never showed up. See, I'm almost wondering if I don't have the rights to create an extra room in there. I used to be able to, but I think they changed things now. Huh, okay. I was trying to make that work because I was able to before many mods ago, but I think they changed things up. So maybe it looks like it's published on my end, but you know, if you guys aren't seeing it, obviously it's not in there. It's showing up on my end. It's just not showing. Let me see here. Ungraded sections. It's showing it's published. Yeah, I guess I can't unfortunately do that. Interesting. I'll have to talk to somebody about that and see if there's a way to work around that. Because that would have been nice for you guys to go back and forth. That actually would have been nice to have that as part of your discussion too. You know, kind of critique each other's work. And some of the discussions are like that in some of the classes that we have, but sorry guys, I try to make it work. You know, it is a bummer because it is nice to hear what, you know, gain some extra feedback from everybody else before going forward. All right, so, you know, if you want to, you know, we can present your logos in lecture and you can get some feedback at that time too. That's always an option. Okay, last time we met up, we went over effective logos. We did a little review, went over your assignment 1, and we talked about what are brand identities, showed examples. We also identified 4 different logo marks, and then logo redesign process steps we went over, and then we had an open critique. So today, we're going to just look at some of your examples. Ah, that's true. You're talking about in the outside of our classroom. That's a good suggestion there. All right, well, maybe we'll think about that going forward here. All right. Rebranding, yep. Yep, you're rebranding it. So you're revising the brand, the logo mark itself. So when you're revising a logo, when you're updating it, revising it, you're ultimately going to be revising all the brand identities too. So, yep, rebranding. We're going to go over your discussion 2. A lot of you guys got started on this, which is great to see. And then your assignment 2, we'll get started with that. Yeah, rebranding. Yep, it is a lot of work. And it maybe not initially, the logo design in itself is a lot of work. And a lot of people, I guess, think that it's so easy that don't know the process. But that in itself is a lot of work. So just kind of keep in mind, if you are doing your own thing and you're a freelancer and somebody asks you to redesign their logo, don't skimp out on the price that you're going to charge them or the time that you put into it. Because it is a lot of work. So you might even want to consider, instead of, you know, doing a per hour, price. You might want to do like a package price where you're doing like a one lump sum for a logo. And it all depends on, you know, the client, the actual logo, it's the brand, and then also, you know, kind of their budget in a way, because you kind of have to give and take. All right, so let's take a look at some of your examples from these two classes in here. You might see yours up here, but I just pulled a few that I thought were some good examples to show. Now these are always, you know, in you know, all of these that I'm going to show you aren't at their final state either. There's some things that have been addressed in your feedback to push them forward. Yeah, there you go. Did you get any of mine in what, Tabra? I'm going to go ahead and show you some examples that I pulled here that I thought were good to show you guys that, you know, had, oh, okay. If you submit, what time did you submit them? Because I went through, I might not have yet. Yeah, I'll get to them though, for sure. I've been bouncing back and forth with other things, so I'll definitely check that out and get you some feedback as soon as possible. But in the meantime, you can see what your other fellow classmates have done for this particular project. You know, I just pulled logos that I thought were almost in their final state that, you know, I'm not showing the process steps that were submitted, but I thought were good, you know, potential logos to go forward with. So here is one that I think works really well for this particular brand. You know, there's some alignment issues here going on, but once that's addressed, I think that this is definitely a great shape and look for this brand going forward. There's some really cool options of color and versatility for this as well. There's another example of one. The orphans, yeah. Yeah, something different here. There's another one. A lot of you guys did opt to go with the art gallery, which is kind of cool to see all the different approaches here. Yeah, I mean, in this regards, this is a, you know, this is a nice way to, this definitely would be acceptable. You know, I can read it and it's kind of done in a more abstract way. Yep. Here's one for Central Park Software Solutions, which I thought was kind of a cool way to do this using code elements. Definitely appropriate, as well as the typeface, very techy looking, not dated. Here's one too that I thought was kind of visually interesting, something different. The only issue that I have with this one is the G isn't as readable, with the MAG being the abbreviation for the actual gallery. But you know, there's some things that you can definitely do to push it forward. But I like the way that the gallery is transparent. It gives a nice layering look. It's very balanced. Here's another one, Central Park Software Solutions. I think for this particular student, I had talked about maybe having the mark, maybe trying it vertically aligned on the top, from it going almost like from small to large. So it almost shows growth from the little mark there. Try different things like that. Here's another one that I think definitely can be, it's almost there. There's some things that need to be tweaked, but definitely can be visually interesting. And nice shape. Anytime that you have a symmetrical logo, such as this, so it's all equal on all sides, it's definitely more versatile than other shapes, because this will be able to be applied on in many different applications, you know, in a way that it's going to work. Instead of it being maybe, say, long like this logo here, may have issues vertically. You know, if it's being placed on something that's more vertical, say like a vertical ad, or maybe a product that's more vertical, has a vertical space, you're going to have issues kind of placing this one on there. So typically the workaround to that is, you know, creating two different orientations of your logo. So if you really thought that this was going to work and you wanted to use this, do another one that's more vertical. Looks the same. You're just kind of playing around with the you know, shape of it. And then you can have two variations of that same logo. So then when you show the client, say, you know, this is what it would look like if it's needed to be placed on more vertical space applications. And this is what it would look like on horizontal. So then when you do if you ever do a brand book, you know, show the uses of how to use the logo, you would have to show the vertical and the horizontal, how it would look like. But with a symmetrical logo, you kind of are sidestepping all of that for the most part. You have a very symmetrical logo, meaning it would be more versatile than if it was a different shape. Here's an interesting one. I thought definitely had a really nice graphic feel to it. Very abstract. You know, when you're using shapes like this abstractly, and it's perfect for this brand too, it becomes more visually interesting. You're not showing a cliche paintbrush for, you know, or picture frame. You're showing a really cool abstract shape that works really well. It's visually interesting. It's not looking boring. This is something that definitely would stay in my mind and be just more exciting than just a, you know, a cliche paintbrush. It's like an explosion, yeah. This would be really cool. You could do some really cool like color options with this. And this would actually look really nice inverted out. So the black being white, for example, if it was on a darker background. So it's definitely a very graphic, contrasted logo, visually interesting. Here's another one that's definitely visually interesting too, just using the simplicity, yes, of just the M. This is a little bit more, I would say it's a little bit more busy, but it's simple in a way. This one's real simplified, maybe less busy, but more simple. Very gender neutral too. I like that because, you know, think about who's going to be coming to this gallery. It's not just females, it's not just males, you know, so you're kind of showing both. You want to convey that this is for everybody. So having it neutral to that is good. So this is a very gender neutral is what I'm saying. It's because the elements aren't very feminine or masculine. So thinking about that. Here's another one that's for Hale and Carter's Academy. Some of you guys attempted this particular brand. I think the key thing with this is not going crazy overboard, but I like the simplicity of this where, you know, you're really using the power of typography and line to create something very simple. And the Gestalt theory where you're kind of forming this relation with this guitar line, and you're not showing the whole guitar, which is nice, and it becomes more visually interesting because you're not showing the whole guitar. It's more line, but you know what it is. This is kind of an interesting logo. It's definitely more geared towards the bagel cafe, being very humanistic and organic, using the O and of for the sunrise, or you know, kind of in a nice way. And it looks like it would be a bagel cafe. You know, it's just a nice feeling of, you know, of a cafe type of a look, more organic. And last but not least, this is a really interesting logo here, using the M and the A to come up with a monogram, but visually interesting logo. Very powerful symbol here. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, looking at these, like I said, I think you guys did an excellent job. A lot of these are almost at final state. But just very inspiring to see how you guys come up with different looks. I mean, look at all the art gallery logos that we looked at. They all look great, but they're all different in their own way. They all have their own look and feel of each one of them, but they're all very appropriate. So it's really cool to see what other people have done. And, you know, this will push you guys If you need to push your logo further, this will kind of set the bar. So you're like, okay, now I got to step it up a notch, right? Got to push yours a little bit more. So you see other people's work, let's push it up a notch. Great job, you guys. If I didn't show yours, it doesn't mean that yours is terrible. Like I said, I just pulled a few that I thought from the 2 sections were good to look at. So don't feel deflated if I didn't look over your stuff. Good job, you guys. Don't take it personal, that's what I'm saying. All right, who here got started with your discussion yet? We're going to be kind of discussing the whole sub-brand, rebrand type of situation here. Christina, okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Like I said, it kind of goes over, sub-themed brands. So, if a brand, and I'll show you some visual examples. Say like Target ends up wanting to create a sub-brand for a different type of a product that they want to brand as themselves. They would have to make it a sub-brand. So this kind of talks about how you would do that successfully. Yep. Okay, good. Awesome. So pros and cons of both. Good. Yeah, so you can learn a lot from existing brands that are very recognized, like Gap and Starbucks, and see what works and maybe what doesn't work. So you're just basically going to be almost like you're talking to the client. Let me go to the prompt. So definitely read through the background, just talks about what I just said. And you're basically going to be talking to that same client that you were looking at in discussion 1. So let's go ahead and read through here. So for this discussion, we will once again return to the ice cream shop logo and brand identity discussed in week 1. Imagine that a few years have passed since you initially created the visual system for the ice cream shop. In this time frame, they have become hugely successful, expanding to 3 different ice cream outlets around the city. Growth has begun to stabilize, and the owners have begun to seek out other consumer markets to enter. Because the ice cream is especially popular with parents and children, the owners have decided to enter the children's toy market and create a series of educational games for mobile devices. Because you worked on their logo, they have approached you to help them navigate the visual look and feel of this new endeavor. Though you, the designer, knows there is not one correct answer, you need to share with them the pros and cons of creating an entirely new visual identity for the games, keeping the existing logo, or creating a new hybrid logo that bridges both ice cream and games. In approaching this task, what would you tell them are the pros and cons of each option? So would you make a completely different logo to represent that product or application, or would you create one that looks like their original logo, just kind of tweaking it a little? So pros and cons of each. What option do you think is best for them to pursue and why? If they did decide to create a completely new logo that merged both ice cream elements and game elements, what marketing materials might they need to create to educate the consumers? Because, not everybody may know that they have this product out there. So what do you think would be the best option? Think about the cons. Maybe they want to do something that's not ice cream related. So using their original logo and tweaking it may not work for that. So that might be the con. You might need to create a completely new logo and then educate a little bit more that, your customers on what, and you can educate through, and this is an example. If you go to the ice cream shop, you might have tabletop displays, signage, kind of maybe having an announcement about their app and connecting it to social media, kind of create awareness. So think about the pros and cons, which option you would use and kind of the pros and cons of each. A new logo versus a logo that looks like their existing one, just tweaked a little bit. So for your citation, you might use articles that show examples of how companies have managed to navigate their visual image and maintain consumer confidence when diversifying products produced. You can also find articles from experts that suggest ways logo design have been used to represent industries who have merged together. So this is where it's really kind of imperative to think about how versatile the logo is. Because if you decide to do the existing logo for your app, for this particular project. You want to make sure that the logo, the original logo that you're working on, is versatile enough to be able to tweak it so it looks like it's still part of the brand, yet it's a new logo for a new product. So it has to be flexible and versatile for that. Now I have some examples here just to kind of show you the differences on this slide here. Now there's different types of brands. The one we're going to be talking about is the sub-brands, so just kind of look at the second column there. But you can see the branded house too, the endorsed brands, house of brands are all kind of pretty similar. Like the branded house, FedEx is the corporation, that's their main logo, and then underneath that they have express, freight, and ground. It's all different ways of how they deliver. Sub-brands would be like this Apple, and underneath that are different products. So you have the iPad Pro, it's all part of Apple, but different product. iPhone, iWatch, Apple Watch, Apple Music, Apple Pay are all part of a sub-brand. Then you have the endorsed brands. So those are the ones that, in regards to the Kellogg's, this is a product that, you're eating this different product, so you're having different, you're having the same brand, but different products. So you have the Special K, it's completely different than the Mini Max chocolate and the Crunchy Nut. So they're more of endorsed brands. House of brands, so your P&G, Gillette, Pampers, Fairy, Ariel. Some of these are, obviously they're all part of P&G, but they're brands that are underneath that. So like an umbrella company that go underneath P&G. Okay, here's another example, master brand, endorsed, and individual. So master brand shown by Google. So Google has Google Books, Groups, Videos, Maps, all that kind of is included in the master brand. The endorsed brand could be different chains of hotels. So you have Marriott is the big brand, and then underneath that is Residence Inn. They're all part of Marriott. And then you have the individual brands. So P&G have individual brands like Tide and Folgers and Pampers that are all umbrellaed under P&G. So you guys are going to be talking about sub-brands. Here's a good example of a brand that has sub-brands. So Lego. So basically this ice cream brand that you're going to be discussing is a sub-brand. So you're going to be talking about the ice cream brand and then taking off of that for an app, a gaming app. So for this example, you can see the Ninja one, Ninjago, Friends, and Technique are all part of Lego. They're just different concepts for what that product, what's in that product. So different themes, I guess. So think about this whenever you're discussing it. Here's Nick Jr., Nick Teen, Nick Toons, and Nick Knight. There's different audiences for this same brand. So what are the pros and cons of, say, completely doing a new logo for your game app versus using that same logo, just kind of adding it, just tweaking it a little, kind of like what they're doing here. The logo is very similar. They're just tweaking it a little bit on the right-hand side there. Same thing with the Lego. They're keeping that logo the same. They're just adding, just a tweak of the name there. Does anybody have any questions about the discussion? Does that make sense on what they're asking and what you guys need to do there? So you might even go in and check out some of those different brands that I just discussed to see what they're all about too. All right. Awesome blossom. All right, let's take a 5-minute break and then we're going to get back into it. We're going to actually get into your assignment too. We'll get right into it because I'm not sure. We have a I kind of might divide this up with Thursday's lecture, so I'm kind of trying to figure out time-wise. So let's take a 5-minute break. I'll regroup here and then we'll get into your assignment 2 details and see if you have any questions. Does that sound good? guys can grab some coffee, tea, whatever, candy. Break it up here so you're not listening to me talk the whole time. All right, so I'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, can you guys hear me? That's funny, Tabra. Yeah, you're right. Well, hopefully they have like some covers on cell phone covers, iPad covers. We all know if you have kids, that's usually a good idea, right? Little case for the sticky fingers. I even know I get food on mine, so it happens. All right, you guys, let's go forward here. I think you guys are going to find this project pretty interesting because we're going to be pushing your concept going forward. But we're going to be creating a presentation of sorts that's going to show different parts of your logo here. So let me go ahead and open up the assignment 2 details. So once you get my feedback, what I want you to do is I want you to choose the logo, and I probably had commented on 1 or 2 to go forward with. Make the revised changes, suggested changes, or experiment, before going forward into this assignment. All right, I'm going to read through this. So because there are many different correct answers when solving a graphic design problem, every project in which you are engaged will often require several rounds of edits before it's complete. That's very true. A successful logo, and by extension, corporate identity, is one that is simple, iconic, and consistent. Thus, logo design in particular requires much refinement to ensure that it is created adequately reflects, or to ensure what is created adequately reflects the company's goals, culture, and message. When you are preparing for a logo presentation, it is best to show your design in a variety of ways, thus showcasing its flexibility and adaptability. Producing a logo sheet most often is the way this is shown. In addition to engaging a designer's name and client or project name, a logo sheet showcases the logo in the following iterations. So logo in black and white, what it looks like. A logo in grayscale, what it looks like CMYK with color swatches labeled or shown as a key. A logo RGB with color swatches labeled or shown as a key. Color logo shown in the following sizes, so 1 inch, 3 inch, 6 inch. Why do you think that those sizes are something that we need to show? Also black and white in those sizes. Scalability, yeah. So what if you scale that down to 1 inch? You can't see it. You need to know what it looks like so that if you need to change anything, it needs to be readable. Good. So logo in black and white shown on a dark background, and a logo in color shown on a dark background. So by providing the client with a robust set of options, you ensure that the logo will work in a wide variety of applications and remains recognizable in a wide variety of sizes. Another thing that they don't show on here, which I don't think you guys will be doing, but remember how I said about orientation? If you have a more vertical logo or a more horizontal logo in shape, it'll probably be a good idea to show both variations. Okay, I don't think it's stated in here, but I just wanted to kind of keep that in mind. Okay, so your prompt, the project overview. Last week you worked on preliminary sketches and black and white computer versions of a logo redesign project. Coming into this week, you should have 3 refined computer versions of your redesigned logo executed in black and white. After receiving feedback this week, you will finalize the logo direction you feel is most appropriate and create a logo sheet showcasing its appearance in a variety of sizes and situations. Project 2, week 2 project. After receiving feedback on your week 1 submission, refine and finalize the logo direction that you feel is most appropriate. Consider how you can best maintain message consistency within that typeface, color, and overall logo composition. Christina, you said with the title bar with your name and the client name, would that be your name on top of line or the client's? Okay, let's go through here and I'll answer that in a second. So assignment instructions, refine your best logo direction. That's okay, you're fine. I'm just seeing if I can answer that before going into here. So you're gonna refine it. Number 2, add the color elements that will work with the initial client's color requests and keywords. Number 3 is what you're asking about. Create a set of logo sheets that includes the following elements. 1, a title bar with both your name and your client's name. So what that's basically, and I'll show you how to do this, your sheets will have your name, your actual name, so mine would be April Biss, and then have your client's name listed maybe below or beside. Okay. And you can even have designer, hyphen, and then have your name, and then have client hyphen, or, however you want to do it. So it's clear on who is who. Number 2, original logo, clearly marked before or existing logo. So you're going to show the before and then for this logo sheet. Number 3, logo in black and white. 4, logo in grayscale. 5, color swatches in CMYK or shown as a key. 6, logo in RGB with color swatches labeled or shown as a key. Number 7, black and white logo shown in the following sizes: 1 inch, 3 inch, 6 inch, and also black and white, color on the next, number 8. Number 9, black and white logo shown on a dark background. And number 10, color logo shown on a dark background. So basically, so basically you're going to have 10 pages, so 10 sheets. You're going to create all elements of your logo within Illustrator, and then use InDesign to create your set of logo sheets. Utilize master pages with InDesign to ensure your title bar is consistent on each page. Use a grid when laying out elements to ensure consistent navigation through each page, and then your submission should be at least 10 pages in length. When you're done, your submission instructions are to export your document as a multi-page PDF. Name your file as the name there, and then add your name in there. Submit your redesigned logo to your Behance site and email link to your FPA, and CC me, which is your instructor. Now we're going to go through this step by step, but do you have any questions so far besides the title bar? No? Okay. So I think, go ahead, sorry. Brian?
Yes. I'm wondering, when it says 10 pages, can we do all 10 pages in Illustrator with 10 artboards?
I would normally say yes, but because it specifies here that you're going to be doing master pages utilizing an InDesign, I would definitely say you'll need to utilize both programs.
Oh, okay.
If it didn't specify, I'd be like, oh yeah, go ahead. But it actually specifies, so. And I think it's actually a good habit to get into, because that's kind of how you do it as a designer. Typically you will design certain things in Illustrator, but then finalize it by laying it out, presenting it in InDesign. So it's kind of a good habit to get into.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, good question though. Thank you. So yeah. Okay. Any other questions? But it's pretty easy. I'll show you how to set up your master pages and all that fun stuff. Okay, so I think maybe what might be a really good suggestion is doing a screenshot of the assignment instructions. So just do a Command-Shift-4 and draw a little section here of just your instructions. Take a screenshot of that, because when you go into Illustrator, you don't have to keep flipping back and forth. You can actually just place those instructions on the side of your artboard. So I'm in Illustrator right now. I'm going to go File, Place, and I'm just going to paste in that screenshot that I just took. And that way I have, something I can look off of here. Say, okay, this is what I need to do. All right, so what you will do is, what I would suggest you do is go back into your Illustrator, where you created your logo. Refine your logo on a new page. So just do a file save as. I already did this, so save it as your assignment 2 AI file. It's no longer 1 anymore, okay? Eliminate anything that you need to, to refine your logo. Once it's refined based on the feedback that you got, just have it on one sheet here to work off of. Okay. So number one, you're going to refine your best logo direction. Number two, add the color elements that will work with the initial client's color requests and keywords. Now, do you remember the beginning of class last week? We went over the Word file that's associated with your project. This is for the Metropolitan Art Gallery, but it's included in your assignment 1 details. So go ahead and open that up. If you forgot what the color requests are, and take a look at what they would like to request as far as their colors are concerned. For the art gallery, they say the color requests are they are fairly open on colors, but would like the overall scheme to be bright, vibrant, and generally active and energetic. There you go, Christina, she's right on it. So go ahead and read, if you're doing another client, go ahead and read back what that suggestion is going forward. It doesn't entirely mean that you have to go with that. If you think it would, maybe there's another color that might suit it better. As long as you kind of have a reasoning behind that, go for it. But just make sure you're going back and reading that and applying it if you believe it's applicable and appropriate. Okay. So number 3, create a set of logo sheets that include the following elements. So what we're going to do, we're in Illustrator, we're going to start making those logos ready to place in your InDesign file. So we're going to skip number 1 because that'll be done in InDesign. Number 2, original logo clearly marked before existing logo. Okay, so we already have the original logo. Hopefully you downloaded that from the file, so we don't have to do anything with that right now. Logo in black and white. So here we go, logo in black and white. I think the only thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to just adjust this artboard. So maybe it's a little, oops, it's a little like more square, a little bit more easier to fit this actual logo here. I'm going to have to do some work on this too, by the way. Just noticed something. Okay, so this would be the black and white. Now, the only thing that I noticed on mine is I'm going to have an issue because right now my white letters are going to show if I place this, and I'll show you what I mean. Let me place this dark background here. It's not cut out, so you'll see it when I do this, or maybe not. Huh, okay. Oh, it's because this is all in black. I have to swap this out. Anyway, this white part's gonna show. I don't know why it's not showing now. Let me just put it in the background here. Okay, you can see it here. So what I need to do is I need to kind of crop this into my circle. Yep. So if you have a logo like mine, it's an easy clipping mask type of a job here. So all I would need to do is select my shape, shift select my letters. I don't know if I have to group these. Let me see. Go up to Object, Clipping Mask, and make. I have to do it in a particular order here. Hold on 1 second. Here's an order that you have to do this. Let me get my Pathfinder up too. Hold on 1 second, guys. Pathfinder, there we go. You could do it clipping mask. You could do it with, oh, actually, there's a couple ways that you can do this too. There is a shape builder tool that you can also use. There we go. This actually, you're going to minus the front for your Pathfinder, and that will basically cut the shape into this circle here. The only thing that I'm a little worried about when I do that is I might lose my white. So let me see if I'm losing my white here. Yeah. You know, so if I were to have a black background on this, I would have an issue with that because then my white disappears. So what I got to find is, yes. Okay, so let me see if this will actually work and if I can delete this. Yep, this actually works, the divide option here. And then all I have to do is delete these outside sources, which are out here with my direct selection tool. So what I did was I selected both shapes, and then I chose the divide. And this was able to divide my white section because it wasn't doing that before. It was actually taking the white out. Yeah, so it's all very different in how they work and how they like respond to, oops, delete that. So I'll kind of show you once I get this section out here. Okay, let me see if I can draw another square back here, make it a color. Send back. Kind of test it out. Okay, so these are the ones that I need to get rid of. And I'm just taking the direct selection tool and eliminating that particular section. I have to zoom in here because I can't see these sections, these little sections here. I just need to select them and then hit delete. That'll just keep the white in my letters so that it's not becoming transparent totally. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat here. We can go over this on Thursday too. Let me see, zoom in there. There we go. The shape builder tool works just the same. It just is a little easier to use. So you can eliminate, and I'll show you here. Let's say we have this MAG. Let's just put this in over top here. We have to create outlines though. There we go. And to take the shape builder tool, which is right over here, Shift M, and let me select these first. So the shape builder tool is kind of just like Pathfinder options, only you have a little bit more freedom in what you select and what you take out. So you can kind of select what you want to have kind of merge together. So let's say you want to merge, let's see here, letter. It's all in how you layer and merge stuff. Here we go. And I'm going to keep this M. There we go. So I'm kind of selecting outside of the circle and then selecting the name. And now you can kind of make these, you know, whatever color. It's kind of like the Pathfinder tool. It's just a little bit more flexible and like, you know, it's almost like a little bit more of a flexible tool where it's kind of doing whatever you tell it to do based on what you're selecting. Okay, and then I don't think this actually trims though. That's the only thing. So there's certain options that you can't do, but oops. Yeah, sometimes yeah, this is not doing what I wanted to do. I need to ungroup it or something here. There we go. And it's all in which option or which element you choose first. You can merge them together. And I think it says grouping, keeps grouping my letters together here. There we go. Keeps grouping them. I think I might have to just select. There we go. So it's trimming these, and now I can actually go in and, oh, it didn't do it. It should be trimming. It keeps grouping my objects together here, and I'm not sure why. Oh, there we go. Okay, this is grouped. Yeah, you can get some help for sure. It's I think what I need to do, oh yeah, there it goes. It divided that. Now, is this trimming it? No, okay. But it divided it here, so is that really weird? Huh. It's very strange. Right here, it divided. It's almost like it made a copy of it. Yep, right there. I had to delete it and I didn't even know it. There we go. So there was a copy that it made on top and it wasn't showing the actual trimmed edge there. That's why it kept looking like it was a letter. Your logo confuses me. But so I'm just showing you how like the Pathfinder tool kind of emulates exactly what the Pathfinder Shape Builder tool emulates what the Pathfinder tool gives you also. It's just a different way to do it. Okay, so I have everything, and we can go over that on Thursday a little bit more of the Pathfinder tool and how to use that. But basically, this is the black and white. Say this is the final black and white variation. Let me save this. So I would have it where it's kind of equal on your page. You don't have a lot of margin space, just because when you go to place this, you just don't want a big thing to kind of come in. So you don't want it like 8.5 by 11 with this small logo. You kind of want it to be, and I think this is, let me show you what size this is. I didn't quite accurately. This is about 5 inches by 5.5. So 5 by 5 would be a good size. Okay, so that's the black and white one. Okay, so now we're gonna do another artboard. So go up to window and just show your artboards if you don't have that on your screen. We're just gonna copy this one. So we're gonna go ahead and drag and copy. And depending on how your artboards are set up, it will either go next to it. Now you can adjust this, your viewing options here. You can go up on the very right-hand corner and you can say rearrange all artboards, and you can have this say if you don't want it horizontally laid out, you can do vertical. Okay, so that's how you can change that. It's all like a preference though. Doesn't matter which way you do it. All right, so the black and white one is done. So we're gonna do logo and grayscale. Do you guys know how to do that in Illustrator? Okay, sorry guys, my dog started barking. I thought he was gonna be okay. I had to put him in his crate, so you might hear him in the background. Okay, so how you would create a grayscale is really easy in Illustrator. All you have to do is select the whole logo and then go up to, sorry, I'm out of breath, guys. Go up to edit, edit colors. Sorry, I just had to remember where that was at again. And then you want to convert it to grayscale. You guys got that? Edit colors, convert to grayscale. Now, because my logo doesn't really have anything other than black and white, it's not going to do anything, right? So I'm going to do colors first, and then I can make the grayscale. That kind of makes sense, right? So let's look at the other. We'll leave that one go right now. So we'll go back to the grayscale. Color swatches in CMYK or shown as a key. So go ahead and duplicate that again. So you're going to have 3. Let me rearrange this because this is going to bother me here. I'm going to do by row, column. It's not letting me. Let's see here. Let's do 1. Here we go. Do vertical. All right, so now it's my time to choose a color. Now I need to choose something that's bright. Yeah, it won't change it unless you have color in there and it's enough to change. Like if you have a lighter hue, then it will change it. If it's similar to the black, it might not show anything. Now I'm gonna pick something like a vibrant color, but still, let's see if I can get a nice blue teal color here. Bring up my swatches. So now's the time to really kind of figure out what your color scheme is going to be. You might want to try a couple different ones. I'm going to add this swatch that I just found. I don't know why this is so. You might have some themes in here. You might use your cooler colors just to, you know, get an idea. Adobe Cooler. Where did my, no, it disappeared. Let's put it right here. Okay, so it's an RGB right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in RGB. Oops, I have to do this in pieces here. That's the tricky part. We'll just do it this way. I think it'll be easier. I'm just taking the selection tool and selecting each piece. So if you have something similar to mine where you had to cut it, this is probably the easier way to go. Just kind of individually picking each piece here. There we go. Isn't that cool? That's a cool color. Now, I would suggest don't do more than 3 colors. I would actually highly suggest to just stick to 2 colors. So this would actually work, although I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to give this kind of like maybe an 80% black, so it's not so harsh. So instead of black, full percent black, I'm going to go with a kind of like a gray, kind of a gray. So it almost looks black, but it has a little bit of a softer look to it. So it's very simple, but you know, I have 2 colors. This is, you know, definitely not black. Black would be a lot different. And I'll show you the difference here if you can't see it. I think I had this as like a very rich black. We can even go even a little bit more gray. It's a little softer. Okay, black is a very harsh color, and it's a very nice color to kind of work with the contrast, but sometimes it's nice to give it a little less of a harsh look to it. With that being said, now what I would do is bring up your artboards. Where's my artboards? Up here, my swatches is covering it. I'm going to delete the second artboard. That, remember the one that I was going to make grayscale? And delete that one. And I'm just going to duplicate number 2, which is your color one. these in line again. So you have a color one here, color one here. So whichever color one, let's go to the second one. This is your grayscale one that we're gonna set the grayscale to. So go up to object, I'm sorry, edit colors, and you'll see it change hopefully now. There we go. So now this is your black and white. This is your grayscale that we took from your color. And then this is your color variation. Now this is the RGB one. So let me go look at the instructions here. So we're gonna go grayscale color swatches, and okay, so we have to do CMYK first and then RGB. Okay, so let's do CMYK. And I think what I'm gonna do is since I have like a circle element here, I'm gonna use my keys as circles. So CMYK, I'm going to show as 4 circles here. I'm just going to align these as my key. Kind of keep them, you know, in line here. Group these together. And I'm going to pull my logo up slightly here. Yes, so both of them, yep. And I'll show you how to do that. It's pretty easy. Okay, I'm gonna center these. So I'm gonna group this logo, and then I group these. So I'm gonna center these on my page. Like perfect, okay. And now, this is how you would do this. I only have 2 colors. So you might have, if you have 2 colors, you'll only have 2 dots, okay? I actually have white too, but I guess I could show white. So I'll take out 1 and I'll just show these 3. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that this is in CMYK first. Where's my swatches? Okay, it's an RGB. So my RGB, I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate this. Just, you know, pull it all the way down and make a duplicate by having it over that icon that looks like a little paper. It makes a copy. And what we're gonna do is we're going to change this. We're gonna double click on it. And we're going to change it right here where it says color mode from RGB to CMYK. Now you might notice a big difference in the color change, and that'll be kind of an interesting thing. Swatch name, you can change this to be the actual name of your colors here. So CM equals 0, Y equals 30.08. You don't have to put the percentages in, just how it shows for the RGB. But I'm taking the numbers here. So CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. That's what makes up this color. So I'm typing those numbers in there. And what's nice about that is I can take those numbers. Did I rename it? No, I didn't rename it. I have to add it to my library. See, I'm gonna learn the hard way. 70.42 M 0. Might have to do this more than once. 30.36. Sorry guys. K equals 0. Add to library. Process color. Okay, there we go. It changes it so you can see that. Okay. Any questions about that before we go forward here? So here's my 2 colors. Okay, so now this is CMYK. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ungroup this. I'm gonna make my first swatch, maybe that, the CMYK color of that teal. And then this is actually gonna be a color too. So I'm gonna drag this down here. This is RGB, I'm gonna double click on it. And I'm going to duplicate this. So I have 2, just like I did with the teal. Oh, okay, good. So it's easier Double click on that one, and we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to change this to CMYK C 67.25 M 60.21 Y 59.11 and K 45.1. Add to library. Don't forget that. And then it should change it up there. Okay, that's the second color for CMYK. You want to choose that color. I also have white. White, white, white. Now, I'm probably going to put a little like stroke on that. My stroke, real thin, so that I can see that this is a white. Where's my stroke here? Must be hidden behind your chat area here. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna make this kind of thinner here so it's not so crazy. Oops. Okay, and then take your type tool and we're just gonna draw just like a box here. We can align this better here as we go. You could probably make this just a smaller 9-point type size. Let me bring up my character box. Just as long as it's readable. Let's do 9-point. And then what you're going to do is you're going to just set those colors based on the CMYK colors. And that's what's nice about it being in your swatches so that you can actually type it out. So for the gray one, or I'm sorry, for the teal one, we'll do that one first. We'll do, and you just have to do the numbers, because if you are a working designer, you're going to know what these colors mean. The first set of numbers is the C, second is the M, the third is the Y, and the last one is the K. I'll just put just one more space in between so that a little bit more easy to read. I actually might make this maybe an 8-point type. Okay, CMYK. So that's the first set. And then I'm gonna hit tab and we'll worry about aligning this here. Yeah, you don't actually have to put the CMYK. Yep, if you're a designer and printer, you kind of know that that's what that means by order. Okay, the gray ones would be, obviously on the CMYK, would be 67.25, space, space, 60.21, space, space, 59.11, space, space, 45.1. So that would be the second one. I'm gonna hit another tab. You might need to pull this over. Tab, and then the white, you guys know what white is, right? It's 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, right? So 0. Oh, we don't want that in white, we want that in black. 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0. Okay, now we have to align this better because we have everything kind of all over the place here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually align my type box with my layout first. So I'm just pulling that edge to edge. It's not perfect here. Let me zoom this. Just so I know it's centered perfectly. We'll go ahead and double click. Yep. Go to type. This is, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, type. Where's my tabs here? Tabs are always different. Where's my tabs? I'm so used to doing this in Illustrator. Type tabs. I thought it was under here. Where is it again? Type tabs. Under type. Oh, under window. Oh, that's weird. Okay. That's right. It's in the box. Sorry, guys. All right. So then what we're going to do is set your tabs. So this starts at 0. So wherever your middle one is or how you want to do this, let's set this at every inch or something. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Let's do every 1.25 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's try this and we'll see how that goes. So what I'm gonna do is just hit tab. Let me get rid of these tabs in here. Oh, I should have 2, 3, 4, yeah. Oops. Let's do this again. Oh, you know what? I need to do center tab. Sorry, guys. So we need to choose the center instead of left justified. Here we go. That makes sense. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to actually, we have to center this on the page too, because that doesn't make sense. 2.5, 2.25. Right there. Okay. So I have them all set, and now I just need to put these on the same, under the same key here. Okay. Let me just make sure that these are aligned on the same baselines. There we go. And then we'll see if these are equal. There we go. Okay. So you can set it up like that if you want. You don't have to use tabs. It's just something I suggested. But that would be the CMYK numbers. Just make sure you put enough space so that it makes sense, that the, you know, you can see that those are the dividers. Sometimes you could do this too. If you want a real clear distinction, you could put like those vertical lines in. You know, if you think that's a little too hard to see. Just make sure it's equal. I know some of my spaces aren't equal here. And then adjust, you know, based on that. So that would be the CMYK key. Everything's CMYK. All right, I would copy this complete artboard. Go ahead and drag it down. So this one's your CMYK. Where did it go here? Rearrange my artboards. CMYK, and then this is RGB. So just really easy. This is the easy part because we already have our swatches set up, right? So we just have to get the numbers plugged in here, but we already have the key in place. So all we need to do is change out this to RGB. So go ahead and shift this out. You actually have to show it in RGB too. Might be a little different when you, sorry guys, I don't know what's going on here. I just did an undo and it took me way back. It took me way far back. Let me just do these separately. Oh, this is RGB. Is this RGB? Did I change this out? Oh, I didn't. This should be CMYK. You guys didn't catch me on that. It's a little darker. I don't know if you guys can tell. A little darker. CMYK, that's CMYK. That's CMYK, and that's white. Okay. Let me just check this one. CMYK. Okay. So this one's already RGB, so I don't even have to change that. That's already RGB. This needs to be RGB. Change that to RGB and change that to RGB. White's okay. And then now I just have to plug in my coordinates for that. So 5 for the teal. I'm reading up here, 193. And this should be 3 numbers. 193 is the next. Let's see how it centers, like nicely here. So that's why the tabs are so nice to put in there. If you can do it, you know, in a way that it works for your key. 66. And one more number, which is 66. And then all I really need to do is maybe shift this a little bit so it's centered. Everything else looks good. Any questions about that? Oh, thanks, Christina. Sometimes I'm definitely mess up, but learning from the mistakes is key. Like you can see a little bit of a change, but not too much. But you might see a little change in color more so on yours. It's always good to see that. All right, so we did number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, white and black logo, follow in the sizes. Okay, so that's the next page we need to do. So what I would probably suggest, go back to your artboards and get rid of all these. And go to your artboard, your black and white one, this top one. Go ahead and make a duplicate of that again. You might need to rearrange your elements here. Let me rearrange mine. There we go. And we're gonna do different size variations. So one at 1 inch, one at, what was it, 2 inches? Let me see. 1, 3, and 6. That's right. I'm going to group this, and I'm going to go up to my properties box. So if you don't have that up, have your properties box ready to go. And it's telling me, oh, okay, so we have an issue here because our artboard isn't as big. We need to be 6, we're going to have one that's 6 inches, right? So in this instance, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new artboard, or I'm sorry, a new page. Let me see what's after this here. 1, 2, dark background on black and white logo. Okay, so let's do the black and white logo with the dark background here before we get into the sizes, because that's going to have to be a completely other sheet. So go ahead and, you know, make your art black background. And I would go to the very lower right-hand corner. That's a nice rich black. If you go over here, it's a little bit of a grayer black. Send it back. And then what you're going to do is you're going to change the elements around so that it works for this particular dark background. So obviously I need to make this white, which is the name, and that's all I need to do right there. Make sure this is covering my artboard. If it's not, you know, check your sizes here. I think I did 5 by 5. Did I do 5 by 5? I guess not. I guess I did a little bit more than 5. If you have an even number, you can definitely punch it in there with width and height so that you have a perfect shape. Okay, so that's the black and white on a dark background. So we kind of skip down here to page 9, or to section 9, and then color logo shown on a dark background. So take one of your color logos. I would probably, you know, you can either do the CMYK or the RGB. It's completely up to you. I'm just going to take the RGB. Just copy this. We'll just plug it away down here. Your artboard. These two swapped. Let me rearrange these. What are we doing here? Jeez, this is slow. Okay. Paste that in, get that in the middle there. Do I have my guides on? Let me see here. It's always good to have your guides on. Snap to guides, snap to grid. That way it kind of shows you where the middle is. Okay, and then we're gonna do a dark background, which I could probably just take that same dark background. I'm gonna copy that and just, why did these swap again? Hold on one second. It's really weird. All right, well, I'm not gonna mess around with that because that's not a big deal. At least we know it's in there. Okay. For some reason it's not rearranging for me. All right, so now we see the color on a dark background. So if there's any needed changes, like say for instance, this is like hard to read, so I'm gonna make that white. Maybe in this instance, I would keep it like that. Let me see what it looks like, yeah. Actually, that looks pretty good. All right. So you're just gonna make it readable for that background. You might have to invert some things. Okay, the next thing, yep, it pops, are the 2, 7, and 8. We're just gonna create a new artboard for that. We're gonna do 8.5 by 11, or let's do, because it's 6 inches, 7, 8. Let's do 8 by 8 for these two. And the reason why I'm doing this is because you have to show the variations of sizes for these two. And I'm just gonna name this 242 assignment 2, and we'll do variations, size variations. And then I'll show you how to combine these as we go forward here. And the instructions on that were the black and white and then color as well. So let's go ahead and take the black and white first. I'll paste that in there. And then you can create another artboard for the color. So it really is only like 2 PDFs that you're worrying about. Okay. All right, I am gonna show you this real quick and then I'm gonna have to end this abruptly because I have an appointment at 1:30. So I'm gonna have to cut this a little short. I apologize. I was gonna tell you guys this earlier and I forgot. So let me show you the rest of this and let me know if you have any questions. I thought I would get through a lot of this, but like I said, we'll kind of cover what we didn't cover on Thursday. The InDesign portion of this. And if you have any questions or if you want to show anything, we can definitely do that on Thursday. Okay. All right, so I'm going to group my shape of my logo together. And then over here in properties, I'm going to just take a look at the size. So this is the width and the height. So you have to do 1 inch by and a 3 inch and a 6 inch. So here, the only thing is I don't want to just type in 1 inch by 1 inch because it's going to distort it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hold down the shift key and scale it this way and just take a look in the width and height. And as long as it's kind of to almost 1 inch, it might not be completely perfect, you know, so like right here, that's pretty good. Just holding down that shift key. You can also scale it too, but you might be doing a lot of clicking. But this is the 1 inch. Oops. Let's make this black and white. I thought there was a black and white setting in here. All right, maybe not. Let's go back and just copy this. Okay, I'll make this the big one. I'm just gonna alt drag this. Okay, and then for this one, we're gonna do 3 inches. So just go ahead and pay attention to this. Oh, this is kind of like 3 inches almost, huh? Might have been 3 inches already. Right about there. It's about 3 inches. That looks good. And then this one is going to be much bigger. Let's see if this is actually going to work for the size of our canvas here. Might have to make a bigger canvas size. Add 2 black and white in there. It looks like we're gonna have to make our canvas size bigger, unfortunately. So let's do 11 by 11. That'll definitely be enough. Let's go to your artboard 2. We're gonna do 11 by 11. And we're gonna put a little bit more space in between here. There we go. Okay. So yeah, so 11 by 11. Sorry guys, I thought that 8 by 8 would be enough, but obviously it's not. So how you can arrange this is completely up to you. You can do it like where the big is below and you have the small on top. That actually might make more sense. Kind of based upon what you think looks good if you have this orientation. Okay. And then you'll just do the same here for this one. And maybe what would be a smart thing to do is just kind of copy and delete this one, just copy this one down, and then that way you just have to change the color. Kind of like what I did. As long as you have your swatches set at the same as you did before, which you might have to import. Oops. I'm just gonna do this. Okay. Just adding this to my color swatches. You can import it too. I just did it very quickly here. That should have probably imported it in here. Where did it go? Listen, I have so many color swatches in here. It gets kind of crazy. All right. Just be patient with me, guys. Kind of seems like a long way to go about it, but I mean, it's like, you know, if you want to resize these, you can resize them like I did initially, or you can just kind of make it, change the color. So you can keep everything consistent. You're just changing that color to the color it needs to be. And mine's a little bit harder to do because I have so many little pieces here. Just ungroup, ungroup. So I'm basically just kind of changing the colors. And this will be good because you'll get to see if it works smaller, if you can read it. If you have any issues that you need to adjust before you go forward, you could do it then. All right, I'm looking forward to it too, for sure. I'm gonna have to wrap this up here, guys. I'm gonna be late for my appointment. I apologize. I thought I'd be way done before this time, but like I said, we'll have a lot of time on Thursday. I'll kind of show you how to set up your InDesign pages and how to import these into your InDesign pages. That should take real quick, you know, a quick demo. You are. But I'll show you, we did pretty much most of it. We just have to put it into our InDesign layout, and I'll show you how to set up master pages on Thursday. And I'll show you how to just import all of these in, how to export them and import them. You are important. You definitely are important. I was trying to push my appointment back so I wouldn't have to rush out of here. But so the next step we will do is just in InDesign. We'll do you kind of lay out a grid. I'll show you how to do master pages. I'll show you how to save these out appropriately to place in InDesign and how to set up your title page. And then I'll show you the second part, which is how to save out. You guys are really only going to be doing a quiz on as your assessment, so we really don't have too much to go over on Thursday. So this will be kind of continuation. And then if you have anything that you want to show on Thursday that you want extra feedback on, definitely bring it in. Oh, okay. Very, very cool. I'll have to check that out. All right, guys, I'm going to have to skedaddle here. Yep, the quiz is based on readings or videos. We'll go over that on Thursday too. So if you kind of want to get started, and then as we go into Thursday, if you want to wait to see how I do the presentation part, and then we'll do like a little review for your quiz. If you want to wait until then, that's fine. If you want to take it beforehand, that's fine too. Okay. All right, guys, thank you so much. Sorry you have to go real quick here. Have a great day. And bring in your stuff on Thursday. I want to check it out and give you some feedback. Thank you, thank you. Thanks for joining me. And I'll be seeing you guys on the discussion boards. All right, have a good one. Thank you, guys.